I still can't believe what happened that day in the redwood forest. I've been hiking my whole life, but nothing, and I mean nothing, could have prepared me for this. It started like any other trip. I was deep in the backcountry of Northern California, miles from any trail, just me and the ancient giants. I had set up camp for the night, and in the morning, I decided to go for a quick scramble up a nearby ridge to catch the sunrise. I left my big pack at camp, figuring I'd only be gone an hour, tops. The sunrise was spectacular, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. But when I got back to my campsite, my heart dropped into my stomach. My backpack, my lifeline out here, was gone. Panic set in immediately. My food, my water filter, my map, my compass, everything was in that pack. I shouted, thinking maybe it was a person, a prankster, but the only reply was the whisper of the wind through the massive trees. I started searching frantically, my mind racing. Then I saw them. Footprints. They were strange. Not human, not bear. They were large, barefoot-looking prints, but too small to be the classic Bigfoot tracks you see in plaster casts. They were maybe a size 10 or 11, but wide, unnaturally wide. And next to them were smaller prints, like a child's version of the same foot. A cold dread mixed with a bizarre curiosity washed over me. I had to follow them. What other choice did I have? The tracks were surprisingly easy to follow. They led me away from my camp, deeper into an untouched part of the forest I'd never explored. The undergrowth was thick, and the canopy so dense that it felt like twilight, even in the middle of the day. Every snap of a twig made me jump. Was I hunting for my backpack, or was something hunting me? After about 20 minutes of tense tracking, I heard a sound. It was a soft chattering, almost like a monkey, but deeper, more guttural. Primera slowed down, moving from tree to tree, peering through the ferns, and then I saw it. My bright blue backpack was lying in a small clearing, and next to it was a creature I can only describe as a baby Bigfoot. It couldn't have been more than 3 feet tall, covered in shaggy, reddish-brown hair. It had a surprisingly human-like face, with big, dark, intelligent eyes that were wide with curiosity. It was sitting on its haunches, fiddling with the straps of my backpack. It wasn't trying to destroy it. It seemed genuinely perplexed by the buckles and zippers. It would poke a zipper with its finger, sniff it, then let out a little grunt of confusion. It was adorable. All the fear I had felt vanished, replaced by sheer wonder. I was watching a baby Sasquatch, a creature of myth and legend, trying to figure out how a zipper works. It was the most surreal moment of my entire life. I was so mesmerized I almost forgot why I was there. My backpack. I needed it back. But how do you ask a baby Bigfoot for your stuff? I didn't want to scare it. It looked so innocent. Then I saw another movement from the edge of the clearing. A much larger figure was partially hidden behind a massive redwood. I could only see a thick, hairy leg and a huge arm resting against the trunk. My blood ran cold. Mama was here, or Papa. I was frozen. If the big one saw me as a threat to its child, I was done. There would be no escaping something that large and powerful out here. I held my breath, praying it hadn't seen or smelled me yet. The little one was still preoccupied. It had managed to unzip the main compartment of my pack. It reached in its little hand and pulled out my bag of trail mix. It sniffed the bag, tilted its head, and then, with surprising dexterity, it tore the plastic open. Nuts and dried fruit spilled onto the forest floor. The little creature picked up a single almond, examined it closely, and then popped it in its mouth. Its eyes went wide. It let out a little chirping sound of delight and started happily munching on the spilled trail mix. It was so engrossed in its snack that it was oblivious to everything else. I realized this might be my only chance. Slowly, carefully, I started to back away. The large figure hadn't moved. Maybe it hadn't seen me. I took one step back, then another. The forest floor was a minefield of dry leaves and twigs. A branch snapped under my foot. It sounded like a gunshot in the silent woods. The little one looked up, its cheeks full of almonds. The massive figure behind the tree shifted. I could hear a low, deep rumble, like distant thunder. It was a warning. My heart was hammering against my ribs. I had to make a decision, right now. Run and risk being chased, or die still and hope it saw me as none. I decided to show I wasn't a threat. I slowly took my day pack off my shoulders, the small one I had with me. I opened it and took out the only food I had left. A protein bar, primera heldidal, showing my empty hands. Then, I placed it on the ground in front of me, and slowly, primera basket, Hawaii step by agonizing step. The large creature watched me. I could feel its eyes on me. It was an intense, ancient gaze that seemed to look right through me. But it didn't move. The baby, having finished the trail mix, waddled over to the protein bar I'd left, picked it up, and sniffed it. It took a hesitant bite. I kept backing up, never taking my eyes off the pair. The adult creature remained still, a silent guardian watching over its child. Once I was a good 100 feet away, I turned and walked, as quickly and quietly as I could, back the way I came. I didn't run. I just walked. I didn't look back. I could still feel those eyes on my back. When I got to the spot where my camp should have been, I found my backpack. It was sitting right in the middle of the clearing. It was completely intact, except for the open main compartment and the missing bag of trail mix. They had brought it back, and that's the part that broke me. They didn't steal my bag. They didn't destroy it. This massive, powerful creature and its child investigated my things, ate some of my food, and then they returned my property. They understood it was mine and that I would need it. They showed a level of intelligence, of empathy, that I was not prepared for. They saw me, understood my presence, and chose peace. It fundamentally changed how I see the wilderness, and what could be living in it, hidden from our view. They're not monsters. They're families. They're intelligent beings living a life we can barely imagine. I packed up my camp, my hands still shaking, and I hiked out of there a different person. I'll never forget the day a baby Bigfoot found my backpack. Not because of the fear, but because of the incredible, humbling kindness it showed me. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've had a strange encounter in the woods, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And be sure to subscribe for more strange tales from the wild.